Cam Dean.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Cam Dean. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be doing some think out loud style, figuring out some stuff and trying to build out some thematic music and audio for a concept I'm working on. This video is sponsored by Ace Studio, so big shout out to them. If you find out by the end of this video that Ace Studio is a tool you'd like to add to your professional workflow, don't forget to use the coupon code CAM, that's C-A-M, at checkout for 5% off. And also don't forget to use my affiliate links in the description and pinned comment below. So what I'm working on is essentially a MOBA character. Let me show you specifically what I'm talking about. So I'm in Ace Studio, and this is a sea captain or pirate type character for a multiplayer online battle arena video game. The character's name is Torin, and I will show you an image of what I'm thinking about here. Let me pull that up. So here's my guy. He's pretty cool. So he's got a backstory and a story arc, and I'm going to create the thematic audio. If you've ever played a game like League of Legends where they introduce a new character and he or she's got a whole video, and then like a backstory with thematic, both sound effects and music, describing, and then this imagery showing how the character got to where they are. So this is my character. I just created this in Canva, by the way. It's awesome. Just put in my thoughts, and it came out really awesome. So this character is a swashbuckling sea captain, maybe a pirate, not sure yet. But, you know, he starts out in like the 16th century, traditional, like 1500s, 1600s, where the era of pirates and these cool ships. And then he ends up being in a big battle. And so in the battle, the enemies attack his ship. His side wins. They go over to the enemy ship and start kind of pillaging, finding the loot, and he finds this artifact right here, this treasure, and he activates it on accident, and then it transports him into the future where his weapon gets transformed from a revolver into this like sci-fi shooter gun, and then he's now the captain of a spaceship, and so he's got this past where he's like in the future and he's captaining a ship. He's kind of just going where the wind takes him, but then he's got the past where he was a traditional back in the day pirate captain. So with that, there's going to be a music and sounds that kind of do the storytelling arc for that character within a relatively not too long, like maybe 3 to 6 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. We'll introduce that character. So I think this is going to take a series of videos. If you like this, let me know in the comments. But so I can keep making them. But we're going to try today to see if I can add some more sounds to the soundscape I've already been working on. So I'm going to jump in there and do that. So I'm going to close this guy out, and I've got a plan here of what I want it to sound like. Now, I want to tell you, I spent quite a while, like maybe 2 hours recording, where I was trying out a feature that did not work well for my concept. It's not that the feature doesn't work at all, just for me, if you're trying to do a soundscape, I was trying to create my soundscape, and it kept saying that I was using copyrighted material. I am not. It is CC0. I've checked. Everything here that I'm using is just free offline, and it is CC0 certified content. But if you're trying to do this kind of concept, and it's somewhere on the internet, even if you have the right to use it, you might run into challenges if you're trying to use the music enhancer feature. So what I'm instead going to try to do is maybe like add a sound effect or do the add a layer. So I'll try those. I'm going to start out with sound effects. So let's listen and hear what this sounds like. I'll play it for you, what I've got so far. I have an orchestra intro. I have some boom squeak sounds of like a creaking of the ship. I have some water sounds, and I have an accordion band, and then I have this Rocky Road to Dublin. All this music is CC0 again, just to make that clear. So I'll hit play, and we'll just give it a listen. Of course, it would help if it was not on mute. I'll try that again. All right, so you get the point. I'm introducing the part of the story. So we start off with some thematic music, go zoom into this kind of ship where everything's starting to happen, or they're going to be loading it up. Something I need is some seagull sounds. I would love some seagull sounds, so I'm going to try to add some. Let's see what happens if we go to sound effects. Seagulls. I'll just put seagulls. See what happens. No loop. Prompt influence high. Selection is too long. Okay, so they don't want me to make it too long. Maybe I need to get a few different kinds of sounds. Maybe I'll do this. Sound effects, seagulls. Let's see what happens. Got it. Let's check it out and see what it sounds like. That is a little loud, but it sounds like seagulls. Let me turn that down just a little bit here. All right. Hearing a little bit of peaking here. Maybe I'll do a fade in. If you need a fade in, you can just go up here and click on these right here. Try that again. So what if I just kind of put the seagulls right after we hear the water kind of coming in? Let's see what it sounds like with everything. Nice, perfect. All right. Let's do the next thing. I would like to have some flag waving sounds in here somewhere, like we're at the ship. So maybe a little bit farther in here, we're a little bit closer. Maybe I'll just do it about maybe this long. And then I could just repeat it or maybe create another one. Let's see. Pirate ship flags. It's waving in the wind and flapping in the wind. Let's see what happens. Hit generate. Try that one as well. Let's check it out. That was quick. All right, I can play around with that. Maybe use it or maybe not. So hear it within context. I'll also zoom that, do a nice little fade in there. So we hear that. Maybe turn it down just a tad. It should be in the background. Even yet, better, maybe after I'll play it, maybe I'll add a reverb or something. Let's check it out. Hit play here. I think that section's a little bit too much wind, but we obviously as editors, you could go in there and we could change it if we wanted to. I'll just leave it for demo purposes. All right, let's add another sound effect. Maybe, let's see, maybe over layering it. I would love to have a little bit of some wind sounds. So maybe you just put like ocean wind, maybe like light ocean wind. And I have to have it 30 seconds, so it can't be longer than that. And then I'll go back to sound effects. Light ocean winds during the day. Do that. Create another one. All right, let's check that one out. Okay, so that one, it's okay. I already have that ocean sound, so maybe I'll just not worry about that. But, we're just thinking out loud today. So it created a great sound. I just think I already have enough of that. And it has some wave sounds in there, so I'll not worry about it. I think that might be too difficult for today. So I'll just delete that. I don't need it. Now it's supposed to go over here. So another thing I would like to hear right around this spot is after the accordion music comes in, I would love to hear some pirates or some salty sea guys shouting and loading up the ship. So why don't we just maybe put it about like right here. All right, I'll just put like excited, salty sailors, 16th century or 17th century. I'm not sure which one, but excited 17th century, salty sailors, laughing, shouting, and loading a ship, loading their wooden ship. You can hear footsteps as well as wooden barrels and crates being dropped down on the ship planks and being slid around the ship for storage. Let's say in the background as well. All right, let's check it out. Again, that looks kind of loud, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. All right, I think I can make that work. One thing I'm noticing though is that this is really up close in the mix. So something that's really cool that A Studio has introduced is the ability to do VST3 and AU plugins inside A Studio itself. You don't need to go anywhere else. So go to the track you want to add the effects to, go to FX right here, FX, click Insert, and then choose the type of plugin that you want. You can search for it. I have VST3 and AU showing up here. You can check for recent. You can also save an effects chain. So if you built an effects chain here on the left, put in like reverb, compression, EQ, high fast filter, whatever, you can save that as a preset and then come back to it again to be faster. Down here, you can see the types and then the brands. So right now, today, I only have the A Studio native ones. I have my Apple that are just built in, and then I have this Universal Audio Pultec EQ one. To keep it simple, I will just play around with maybe some reverb to give it a little bit of presence, make it sound a little bit larger. Let's see how this sounds. Hit play here and play around with that. Pretty strong. Yeah, just playing around here, not perfecting anything, but that sounds better than right up front, I think. So maybe I'll just turn it down a little bit, see what this sounds like with all in context. Let's listen to our seagulls with everything. Let's do one more for fun. I'm totally making these off the cuff again. Let's give the captain shouting. So I'm okay. This is probably not going to be period appropriate English, but I'll just try to throw something in there. Pirate. Let's see. Salty sea captain. Let's say he's young. You know, he's not an old salty dog. He's a younger salty dog. Young sea captain shouting. Load her up, load her up, man. Load her up, man. I don't know. Just making up something. Load her up, man. Just make something really cinematic and crazy. It's not every century a man gets to see an adventure this grand. Ha 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 ha. The open sea lads. Okay. Try it. Let's see how it goes. This has been fun. All right. Cool. Again, I think this is going to blow out my ears. Here, there we go. Okay, cool. See this? Listen to it.
Up, man! It's not every cent to see an adventure this grand.
Okay, that one was not so good. Oh well, no worries. I don't know. Maybe I can make it sound better with this reverb here. If I added a little bit of a, it doesn't sound like correct English. So maybe if you speak English well, just add your own voice in there. But all right, let's try that.
Man, it's not every cent to see an adventure this grand.
Nope, that did not work. Okay, no worries. I'm already happy with everything else, so this is funny though. All right, so I'll just remove that one. All right, cool. So at the end of the day, now I have added quite a few sound effects to my thematic audio here. So we're building this out. This is awesome. I did not have a CC0 for the seagull sounds, so that's cool. I could just get the mock-up really quick. This is a really powerful feature in A Studio, which is the effects sound effects within the generative kit. So now if you're working on building out a soundscape or thinking through this characters or whatever kind of work you're doing with thematic audio, if you just need to get those sounds quickly in there, you can just put the sound effects in, and for the most part you're going to get really great effects and get those ideas solidified. And so that's about it for today. Just wanted to show you another cool and powerful feature within Ace Studio that lets you as the artist be in control and put your creative thoughts in there in a digital audio workstation format, but with generative power. So it's really like a generative audio workstation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give me a subscribe so we can keep the channel growing. Leave me a like. Leave any questions you may have. I am working on, I know I got kind of a backlog from a lot of people asking me questions, but I'm hoping to get in there and answer them soon. And then if you did like this tool, don't forget to use my coupon code CAM. And until next time, this is Cam Dean. Hope you had a good one, and take care.